What's going on, guys? And today is my birthday. It's my 23rd birthday, and with that I wanted to give you guys 5 pieces of advice that I've learned in particular over this last year of living. And before we get into that, my name's Keefe. I made this channel to help men create their ideal lives through self-mastery. Be sure to hit the bell icon and subscribe button so you don't miss tomorrow's video, and let's get straight into it. Bonus tip, by the way, bonus piece of life advice for you guys is when you go to the gym, don't take all the weight off one side of the barbell before you take it off the other side, because I'm pretty sure I broke my foot this morning. That's just a piece of life advice I learned the hard way. Should have known. I was just being stupid and lazy. But anyways, I just thought that was kind of a funny way to start this thing. These are going to be more philosophically minded rather than like a tip or a hack you can go implement, like telling you to wake up 15 minutes earlier. These are more philosophical things I've learned and become to understand, and I think they'll be really helpful to you. You might not be at the position in your life where they will all click immediately for you, but I think over time you'll start to understand these things. The first one is super cliche, is to follow your own path. And like I said, mad cliche, but I've just really learned this is so true. People are constantly doing things that aren't on their path and they're not happy for it, right? Like, what is the point of life? If you ask yourself the point of life, is the point of life to do a bunch of shit that you're not happy with so that you can get a bunch of crap to fill in your garage, a bunch of cheap plastic stuff off Amazon so that you can pay for? Like, no, the point of life is to be happy and to provide to the world, give your gift to the world, whatever that is. And so you'll figure that out when you get on your path. But I mean, things like going to college, things like having 2 cars, things like a white picket fence and a 4-bedroom house in a subdivision, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but most people are just doing these things because they think it's what they're supposed to do and they think it's the next step, but they don't ever ask what the path they're even on is. And so you need to find this out, because ultimately, like I said, your life should be about contributing and being happy. Contribute something to the world, give your gift. This will actually make you happy when you do that, and then just be happy and enjoy your life. And so I've just, I've always kind of known this to a degree, but I've really honed in and started to believe this completely, that you should just be on your own path, and you should start asking yourself, like, why am I doing this thing that I'm doing, whatever it is. And I don't mean like on a moment to moment basis, like, why am I cooking dinner, and you need some massive like philosophical reason why you're making food. I'm talking about like major like life decisions, like taking a job that you might not be happy with because you're telling yourself the reason you're doing it is because you need money so you can get an apartment, so you can do all these things. And it's like, all right, maybe, but you should ask yourself why. Like, do you have a deeper like path? Is this lining up with your vision for your life? Like I heard Lewis Howes talk about this actually on an interview recently. Lewis Howes, the podcaster, he said that he was living in his sister's house, dead broke, and he'd gotten a job interview with this sports marketing agency, and he had the interview, and he was walking out the door, and it just hit him. He realized, like, if I take this job, I'm going to end up in this dead-end job doing something I don't really want to do for the rest of my life, and I'm going to feel trapped and stuck, and I'm not going to be able to pursue my dreams. And so he sacrificed the job. He didn't go get the job. He went and figured things out for himself, and yeah, he had to struggle, and he wasn't as like comfortable per se at the very beginning, but now he lives the life of his dreams. And so sometimes part of this is you're going to have to sacrifice what seems logical, right? Like working 40 hours a week at a 9 to 5 so you can make $40,000 a year so you can pay for an apartment. That seems logical if you're living in your parents' house or something like that. But if you really had to think about it, would you rather do that and then be trapped on this unhappy path, or would you rather just commit completely to your own path and go through whatever that brings you and ultimately find fulfillment, happiness, and contribution in the world? And I just realized the latter was the truth. That's the one you want to go on. The second one I've got here is to be happy where you are and choose do not want. So what I mean by this is there's a difference, and I've really come to grasp this finally. Because being as it was my birthday, I was thinking about, like, I mean, I'm 23. I don't need a bunch of fucking birthday presents or anything. But I was sitting here like, what do I even want? Like, if somebody asked me, what do you want for your birthday? I'd be like, I don't really want anything. Like, I mean, I choose things. Like, I choose to do YouTube because I want a lot of YouTube subscribers, but it's not like a craving kind of desire, whereas it used to be, and most people live in this paradigm, this idea that they are separate from that which they desire, and therefore they're not happy now. They're going to be happy when they get their desire, and this just isn't true, and we live in this constant state of being unfulfilled, because then we get this thing that's outside of ourselves that we think is going to make us happy, and then we're immediately unhappy because we don't have the next thing, right? It's stupid stupid, and you should learn to be happy from within. And this difference I'm trying to point out here is that when it comes to desire, this is, I mean, Jesus talked about this, the Buddha talked about this, being attachment being a bad thing. You shouldn't be attached to a desire, and desire makes you unhappy. Let go of the desires, and you can just choose to have experiences in your life, but you should be happy now, because desire leads to this feeling of being unhappy now. So if you just let go of the desire and choose to love where you're at in your life, and it might be hard. I've been through some harder spots in my life where it is hard to believe that you can be really happy where you're at, but I promise you, the more you get into that state, first of all, the easier things are going to come to you that you do choose to have in your life, but also you're just going to be happier. And like, what's the problem with being happier? Like, I feel genuinely in a state of more peace about my life, like, and with that I feel confident the things I want in my life are going to come to me. I'll give you an example. I want to have 100,000 YouTube subscribers. I keep saying want, but I don't mean want in the desirous way. I mean want in like, I choose to have this. This is my preferred way to go about life. And the difference here is I don't crave it. I don't feel like I'm lacking anything because I don't have 100,000 YouTube subscribers, and I don't feel like I'll be happy when I have 100,000 YouTube subscribers. I'm just happy now. I love doing the channel. This is something I love doing, and again, you could say it's on my path because I love doing it, and it's something that makes me happy, and it's a way I can contribute to the world. So I'm happy now with my, I think, 1.8K subscribers, and I'll be happy with 100,000 subscribers, and so I don't feel this like lack without it, and that's about choosing. And the funny thing is, my YouTube channel is speeding up in growth right now because I've come to realize like there's no reason to not be happy with life as it is now. It's just be happy with everything and watch the new experiences come in, and you can choose an experience rather than crave it, and that's the big difference. Third thing I've got down here is to walk away from things that are not serving you. So I'm going to use relationships and friendships as an example for this. It's been a little over a year now, but most of my friends that I had at one time, I don't speak to anymore. I had a relationship going on that wasn't serving me, and all these things I knew they weren't serving me. I knew inside, I had known for a long time, me and these friends were headed down separate paths, and I don't necessarily judge them for it. It was just like I was headed down my path, they were headed down their path, and I knew we were at odds, and I was trying to figure out, honestly, for several months how I could break off these friendships in like a peaceful way where we all just got along, but we all headed down our separate paths, and I never really did it. I never stood up and just did it and left the friend group essentially, or allowed myself to leave. It allowed things to spread apart. And same with the relationship. I knew I needed to get out of this relationship for months, and I didn't because I was attached. And we're attached to these things, and what happens when we do this is they blow up in our faces eventually. The friend group thing ended up blowing in my face. The relationship ended up blowing up in my face. If I had just let them go earlier, things would have happened a lot more peacefully. And I've got friends, for example, that we grew apart over time, and we just let things grow apart. And I'm still good friends with these people. Like, I see them, I'm happy to see them, we catch up, and that's how life is, right? Not everyone is going to be in your life forever, but the people that I tried to hold on to for too long when they weren't really a part of my path anymore are the ones that we're not friends anymore. We do not get along, we don't speak, like, we have disdain for each other kinds of situations. And so you'll get a gut feeling a lot of times that it's time for you to move on from a situation. And I'm not saying just dispatch with everybody in your life for no good reason, but you'll know it inside. You'll know, like, you know what, my path is leading me here and their path's leading them there, and I need to allow them to go do their thing so I can go do my thing, and, you know, we'll stay friends, and I wish them nothing but the best, but that's life, right? And this is something that we really struggle with because we attach ourselves to things. Attachment is similar to what I was talking about with desire as well. These are just things, they're egoic ideas of your own possession over something. And it's this idea that something outside of you is making you happy. When you realize it's just coming from inside you, you can choose to be happy or not be happy. And like I said, these are philosophical ideas. So this is very esoteric in a way, to choose to be internally happy and trust the universe and all that. But just to let things fade away if they're meant to fade out of your life, and trust that new things are coming in that are better for you at this moment in your life. Fourth one I've got down here is that you do not have to judge someone or approve of them. You can just accept the situation as it is. You can accept life as it is. So a lot of times, this is something I understood. This really, I knew it for a while, but it really clicked for me about a month ago, is I just realized, like, Just because I don't judge somebody's behavior as bad doesn't mean I'm saying it's a good thing they're doing it. I'll give you an example. For the longest time, I've been very judgmental of people who smoke weed, very critical of it. And I still don't recommend you go do it, but I realized, like, why am I doing this, like, whole judgmental idea? Just because I don't judge the fact that they're doing it doesn't mean I'm condoning it and saying it's a good thing for them to do, and they're still responsible for the consequences of their actions, but I'm not responsible for judging them is the thing, and I can just accept that life is how it is and people are how they are. And this idea that you judge someone comes from this perception that you need to change people and you need to change the world, right? We judge the world. The world's not the way it is. If only the economy was better, I could have this business. We're judging the economy rather than accepting that the economy is what it is. And like same with everything in life, we're judging a person. It's this person's fault I'm not happy, and it's because of this, rather than just accepting you don't control them. And life is what it is, and you choose. It's all within you, again, to choose whether you're going to be happy and whether you're going to play the game on the game's terms, play life on life's terms. We accept that life's going to do what life's going to do, and it's not a passive victim idea. It's the idea that people are oftentimes trying to get the world to be a different way than it is, but the world is the way that it is, and you essentially get to just choose what you want to do within the world, but the world's going to do what the world's going to do, and you can't change people's behaviors. You can wish them the best, you can pray for them, you can do all those things, but you, in the end, cannot, through your own force of will, get someone to be different than they are. They'll have to change on their own, and so you just accept that people are going to do what people are going to do. I'll give you a good example of how you can equate this. So let's say there's a thunderstorm going on, and there's lightning striking and all this stuff. You don't hate the lightning, and you don't judge the lightning. You don't judge the fact that it's lightning, like there shouldn't be lightning, or why is it lightninging? Like, you just accept it. All right, there's lightning going on. But what you do is you avoid it, right? So you don't go out in the middle of an open field with a golf club in your hand and like expect to try and get struck by lightning. You just avoid that which you don't want. So like for pot, again, I don't have to judge and hate the fact that pot is around or that someone's smoking weed. I just avoid doing it, and that's it, right? I accept that it's there, but I don't have to partake, and I don't have to be around the people who do partake. But again, no judgment is necessary on your part. That's just this egoic idea that you need to be the one controlling everything, and that if you were God, essentially everything would be better, right? And it's just a stupid idea. This fifth one here is something I actually kind of clicked for me like 2 days ago, honestly, but it's huge, is to learn to relax and trust. And what I mean by this is, like, you shouldn't feel bad for enjoying yourself, basically. And I've always been somebody who felt bad for enjoying myself. Like, I went on a vacation to Cuba a couple years ago. I was on a cruise ship, and on the cruise, I remember it was like the second or third day, I literally felt awful. Like, I was like, I'm this disgusting human being. I'm not being productive. I'm spending money when I should be making money and doing all these things. And I just made myself not enjoy the trip because I felt so bad that I wasn't being this like super productive individual. And this is the perverse part of self-help, is that self-development people can get in this thing where they act like it's a sin to just enjoy life for the sake of enjoying it. And I fall victim to this, and to the degree that I have put that on you guys, I apologize, because this is something that I've struggled with significantly. Most people are on the other end of the spectrum where they don't have any plan for their life, they have no happiness, and they're just doing guilty pleasures to like block out their life. And that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is, like, if you go on a vacation, be present with the fact that you're on the vacation and enjoy the vacation. You don't have to feel bad about the fact that you're not making money on the vacation. If you've done what you needed to get done for the day to move ahead in the day, you shouldn't feel bad about doing whatever you want to do to enjoy your time afterwards. And this was, for me, kind of, I was blending too many things together, and so I didn't understand how to compartmentalize my life. So I was never fully present with any action I was taking. I might be focusing on work, but I'm also present with my desire to talk to girls, or I'm present with friends because I want the friends to be around because I want to incorporate it. And then the business thing doesn't necessarily go that great because I'm not completely focused on it. And then I go on to the friends, and I'm not completely focused with the friends because I'm preoccupied with the fact that I should be doing something more productive. And then I go on the vacation, and rather than being fully present with the vacation, which I only do every now and then, I'm too busy worrying about if I should make money. Then I come back to where I'm making money, but I'm so burnt out about thinking about making money and feeling bad all the time about this that I'm not productive when I do make money. And so it's learning to compartmentalize. And I did make a video recently about the idea of productivity and why this is kind of a perverse topic. And this has something to do with is the idea that you don't have to constantly be doing something. That's actually this like form of like mental masturbation almost. Like it just makes you feel good like you've done something, but a lot of times it's just busy work. So again, get done what needs to get done, obviously, for your business, for your relationship, for your health, but also learn to just enjoy and relax and trust the process. Trust God, trust the universe, whatever you believe in. Just trust that something bigger than you can work this thing out for you, and you don't have to do anything more than what you just have to do. So if you're a salesperson, you made the cold calls, well, you made the cold calls. You don't have to do something beyond that unless you just feel inspired to do it. You shouldn't take action because you feel bad if you don't. Just do that which feels like you're supposed to do it, and then keep it moving and learn to enjoy your life. The irony of this is that everything's coming to me faster the more I figure this out. The more I figure out that I just have to do my part and let God handle the rest, everything's moving so much quicker for me as a result. Guys, that's all I got for this video. If you got something out of it, be sure to give me a like so I can reach more guys through the algorithm. Again, hit the bell icon and subscribe button so you don't miss tomorrow's video. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk soon.